Hey, Lynn Tucker Carnivore here. I figured I would talk to you while I was folding laundry. Try not to let you see underwear as I get folded. But anyway, I just watched Kerry Mann's video about the different stages of carnivore, and I was thinking about that. I never really abused carbohydrates when I was a kid. I mean, to a point where I was any amount overweight, other than the 25 pounds that I guess I was because of carnivore teaching me that, and homeostasis, etc., etc. I did think, though, that I never really got into enjoying fat. I mean, I liked raw bacon when I was a kid. I know that sounds weird, but I did. That and the pickle juice, a lot of people are saying that's what they drink sometimes now. I thought that was just great stuff, and my mother was disgusted. But that was my fat. We had butter at home. I went to a movie theater, and I would not order butter. I thought it was disgusting and greasy, and what came out of there didn't even look like butter. And so I didn't think it was really real, so I never really went that direction. And I just don't think I ate enough fat when I was a kid. So I don't know if it was the car accident that I had, where I severed my liver 5 inches, and they were concerned about my gallbladder, whether it was scarred in any way, whether I just didn't eat a lot of fat when I was a kid, whether carnivore just said yay to my whole body enjoyed it, so that I just went with it with a vengeance. Even though I could moderate, I didn't want to get ill. I didn't want to have cancer. I wanted to last a long time. I didn't want people to have to take care of me, wheel me around in a wheelchair. And none of that. I am way too independent, way too driven, way too can-do to be able to accept that as my reality. So I went strict carnivore, and I saw, like I say all the time, all of your suffering and the endurance for carnivore that you had to go through in order to heal, and all that I watched and experienced through you. I would never want to have to go through any of that. So that was my inspiration, and thank you over and over again for doing that for me. The Bible says we could live to 120. I wanted to attack that possibility. So that's why I was carnivore. I started out strict carnivore. I didn't go crazy eating fat, and my body used every single moment of my fat because I was so energetic because of carnivore. I wanted to go to the gym. I wanted to have Maggie arms. I wanted to be the strongest, best me I could be. Healthy. And we turned out really healthy too. No allergies. Not cedar in Texas, not pine here, not a cold, not a sore throat, not the flu, nothing for almost 3 years now. Knock on something. I have found life in carnivore. I don't want to do something wrong, but I am losing weight because every time I go out and do clearing brush, I'm out there raking my little buns off because I love the sunshine. I love the energy. I'm like a little Dr. Baker inside. I love to get stronger and stronger. It just makes me feel so good and invigorated, but that takes fat for fuel. And if you're not able to really consume that much fat, what are you doing to yourself? Oh my gosh. I just have to chill, like Dr. Elizabeth Bright had to chill and to lay off her paddle boarding, and I think Maria Emmerich had to do the same thing because we're of that personality type that would go, 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 go. And yeah, maybe I'm in a deep state of ketosis, but I have no fuel. And now I become, as Dr. Kiltz says, human fertilizer, because if something bad happens, I have no reserves. It's it's a tough one. And yeah, I want to take just a moment to have a little bread, because I don't look at candy or desserts or anything other than a freaking sandwich as something that would be way out of whack. A bun on a hot dog, you know what I'm saying? So I know, and I attack Saladino brutally, almost, behind the scenes, like I'm Professor Kay, because people are sick and healing, and they do not need me to come on air and say, you can do this and you can do that, you can have fruit and you can have honey. No, you can't. If you're that unhealthy, you need to be strict so that people around you will have you around for a while. People that love you will be able to be with you. You can grow old together, like Kerry Mann always says on Homestead How about his wife Jen, and Jen says about Kerry. Hey, there I am. Is that my alarm to say I've got to stop talking? Though that's what I wanted, and I never wanted to deviate from carnivore for a second. Even when eggs weren't that great for me, I was like, okay, I won't eat eggs, but I'll eat beef and beef and beef and beef and beef and fatty beef. Because I do. I eat like 75, 25 ground beef, maybe 2 or 3 of those a day, and a New York steak. God bless the Lord for making us able to afford that. But we had to make changes in our lives financially so that we could do that and downsize and pick a different place to live with different tax structures and more affordability. Moving away from everything we knew, everything. We loved being Texans. And we're going to love being South Carolinians too, because people here are really, really nice. People in Texas were too, but you know what I'm saying? It's the South. There's something about the South that is very, 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 very friendly. And I want you to know, as a person who grew up in Minnesota before it got weird, we are like that too. We were waved to somebody all the way to the end of the driveway. We just said hot dish. You said casserole. We are, super hardworking. We're honest as the day is long. And I know there's a lot of people down here like that too. And I have met so many people with a cheerful smile on their face, and they're so large. And I'm just like, can I help you, please? Because you could be so much better inside and out, and you could feel so much better about yourself, and you could appreciate, I know you appreciate the Lord already, but you could really go nutso in that situation and maybe become a pastor or something, or something for your neighborhood, because you feel so good inside and you're so darn grateful. Like Kerry Mann says, thankful, grateful, blessed. It just explodes in your head when you're a carnivore. Nature never looked that beautiful before. I mean, everything you appreciate to the nth degree. It's as if all of your senses are heightened by 100,000%, and your brain works faster, and your memory. Now, I still go into a room and wonder why I'm here. Don't get me wrong. And I think that's just probably, lovely Jim tells me, it's just because I'm being very zen, and I am where I am, and I am not thinking about the 8,000 other things that I need to do in a day. So that's why. But things, even when you say that you can't remember something and you're trying to remember the name and it starts with a B and blah, 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 you go through that whole deal, it will come to you faster after carnivore. At least it did for me. So, we all did, 30, 40, 50 years of doing it wrong and harming ourselves, with me not even knowing that I did, because I never thought that I did anything wrong until I went to carnivore. And then I realized this used to bother me, that used to bother me, that used to bother me. That's why I was just thicker. That's why my eyesight was worse. That's what probably caused anything age-related that I have or had. You don't have to go that direction. Carnivore really does heal. I know keto helps, but carnivore heals. Now my dog's barking because Jim's home. So go carnivore, stay carnivore. I don't care what stage you're in. Try to be as pure as possible. We need to heal. See you on the next one.